Hey everyone, thanks for checking out Ebony Peddler. Want to show you a run in Vardenfell. So, as you probably noticed, or maybe you haven't, I put up a video. I've started to get into motifs, furniture recipes, and as such, I'm going to start sharing some of that information I get with you. You guys are probably way ahead of the game compared to me, um, and we know you're all better players than I am. But I figured I'd share this. I'm sure there are still some new players out there, maybe haven't seen it. I wish I had had some of this information when I was getting going. So basically, this I don't like to just do one thing. So everything I have is usually driven towards one or multiple goals. So in this case, I've already done a video, two of them actually. One that shows you a quick farming run in this area over here, and then a little cave up in here, or a tomb that contains a bunch of urns, which can drop recipes, furniture recipes, sometimes purple ones worth. I had one the other day that sold for 20,000 gold. It's a quick 5-minute run. Once you've done the quest in zone, there's no combat involved, so it literally takes not even 5 minutes. But I like to run some resource gathering in. Key thing with the cave and the tombs is that you can run that every 30 minutes and the urns inside will refresh and allow you to re-loot them. So that's every 30 minutes. So I started thinking, well, how can I incorporate this into my farming? Came up with a nice little run. Like the rest of my runs, use these as a guide. They are not meant to be taken literally. You're going to find different offshoots that work for you. This is just what I found that runs. So basically, to do my 30 minutes, what I've been doing is I'll start at this way shrine, run my little farming run down south. I'll cut across, hit this cave, back to the way shrine, and then I jump up here. So as I've mentioned in a couple of my other videos, the key thing you guys have probably noticed by now is when you jump from way shrine to way shrine in zone, it's much quicker than the load times you get when you jump around from zone to zone. I like to have variants so that I can be flexible if places are busy. So this allows me to jump around. I also have a little farming run down here, which I'll share separately. It would be too long of a video. I did one of those with Orsinium where I share a great run that I have to get urns, experience, and farming over in Orsinium. Check that one out if you haven't. That's way too long. So I'm going to break these up. This one is basically, it's about a 10-15 minute run. If you don't want to watch the whole thing, basically what you're going to do is start off at this way shrine, jump out to the east, and then you're going to head south down here. The alternative to this, I've played with them both. I think I prefer east and then just head straight south. You can go west. There's a nice little cluster of nodes in here, and then you head down here past the monster. Once you get the Alar Tower, the world boss, get past him, and then once he's on your east map, you jump across the road and then head south. Now once you get down here, there's a little zigzag that I'll run in this area. It's got a ton of ore nodes. This run, I won't say it's ore heavy. It's ore heavy if you run once you get down into the southern section of it, but it's a decent mix. There's not a ton of wood in this one, but there's a good amount of ore. And for those of you who are into enchanting and you want to farm the Kuda, it's got a good volume of Kuda in there for you too. Alright, so let's get going. I've already eaten my Orzoga Trifle Pocket, big fan of those, and the stamina regen that they give you. I've got my traveling gear on, Coward's gear. Again, that gives me the 5-set sprint bonus. That's passive 30% speed bonus. Make sure you have some farming gear on you, right? You keep your combat gear on you so that you can just jump out when you're ready. But, alright, so for you guys on the console, can you run this one? You can, because you keep it generic. You're just going to head out to the east, head south, right, until you see this way shrine show up on your auto map. Once you see it on the auto map, that's your guide, right? You're heading right to that way shrine. You're going to come up with your own variants to this run, just like you should for any of them. You want to own these. I'm just showing you areas that work for me. You're obviously going to get your own spin on them, but the key thing is find something regular that works for you so that you can make it your own. Now there's a lot of combat in this one, not a lot. Alright, so I'm east enough. I usually check to see if there's some wood there. Most of these mobs you can run through. You don't have to fight all the time, but as you can see, we're starting off pretty good. You know, this is Vardenfell's still pretty popular, or Morrowind. So there are quite a few people that come through here. So you'll find sometimes this isn't going to work out, right? You're going to come here and it's going to be empty. Everybody's farming nowadays, right? It's a great way to make money. So lots of people are doing it. So basically, like I said, you can't go wrong here. You're just heading south. So here's where we are on the map, right? We just started. We're getting going. So you're just heading south. If you feel like getting in some combat, go ahead. Just for the sake of speed, we're going to see if we can avoid as much of it as possible. You won't be able to avoid it all. But you'll be able to avoid a fair amount. So the key thing is, if you get turned around, remember, just keep heading south. Eventually you're going to come up to that second way shrine, and you're going to be good to go, right? That's the goal. We're going way shrine to way shrine. That's, you know, my favorite run, and the one that I made most of my money on, is the honeypot. If you haven't checked that one out, and you're not aware of, and you don't have your own little honeypot that you use, I use that one. That's on Batika, and you know, this is all about coming up with a run that works for you to make your money. And you know, everything gets a little stale once you run it for a while. But as you can see, I've now made the move into Morrowind. I'm starting to get into more motifs. I'm sick of buying them all the time. So once you get down in here, right, there's a little cluster off to the west. Depending on what you're looking to do, keep heading south. If it's all about speed for you and you want to get way shrine to way shrine, do it. Like I was saying before and never finished, I get off on a tangent, I do that a lot. In Batika, I chose not to go, having trouble multitasking here. I chose not to go from way shrine to way shrine. The reason for that is there's a nice little hidden pocket of ore at the end of the island not a whole lot of people know about. So I chose to keep heading to the end of the island, and then I would spend 100 gold and jump back to my way shrine and start it over again. Though the amount of money you're going to make with that run, you know, it's basically worth it. So now if you get to the coast here, all right, which is where I am, if you're into the islands, you're too far west. So what we want to do is get back east. We don't want to mess around with the water here. We are picking up a few nodes though, and as you guys know, if you've watched any of my videos, I never miss one. I'm too superstitious that the one I miss is going to be the one that drops some ethereal dust. So I farm everything. If I see it, I'll go get it. So what we've done here, we're working our way, because I went too far to the east. So we're going to just basically work our way back in west so that we can skirt the coastline here. Okay? Because you don't want to mess around with the water on this run. It's not really about that. This is more about farming these nodes. And I found, as far as zones go, Morrowind has a pretty healthy volume of nodes. And while there are quite a few people farming, it's pretty good resource gathering. That was wrong. button. Alright, I'm going to give this one more shot and then I'm going to skip it. Yeah, we'll just open it regular. Go old school. Every once in a while you'll get a good piece of gear out of this that sells pretty well. It's the only reason. And I don't, a lot of times I'll skip chests, and I'm sure some of you guys do. Especially on, like, if you're on Batika, I don't usually bother with them. But when I'm in a regular zone, Craglorn, or certainly Vardenfell, you can get some pretty good gear out of that. That are not necessarily stuff I'm going to use, but stuff I'll sell. Alright, so we're at a good angle now, so we're just going to keep heading south, maybe slightly west. Come up this hill, there's a nice little cluster of nodes up here. Oh, somebody grabbed the wood. I usually give a look down here. When you get to that cluster, there is a ancient silk, but the key thing again, keep heading south and you can't go wrong. Okay. So there's no node there, so I'm going to avoid the combat and just keep heading south. If there was a node, I would get into combat. Alright. We're going to see if we can, well, I'm seeing it, so I got to go get it, right? We got a couple of nodes here, so did have to. Again, you console players, always be looking left and right, especially until you get your run going. You want to always be searching for a node you didn't see before, because they will be everywhere, and then once you get used to it, you're gonna know, or at least you're always gonna find new ones, but you'll have the general vicinity, and you'll certainly remember where the clusters are. But like I've mentioned a couple of times, harvest maps does make farming a little bit easier. So as you can see, this run so far, it's been pretty good. We've had pretty good success with the pops, and of course I just may have jinxed myself. Just so you know where we are, I like to bring the map up a few times, because I've watched some videos out there, and I struggle a little bit when I can't see the map. So all we're doing, though, the key thing is you can't go wrong as long as you stay south. And if you're heading off, like right now I jumped off to the east a little bit and jumped off to the west, bring your map up, right? Don't be shy about using it, and just stay the course, right? When you're developing your own crafting runs, right? I'm sure everybody's got their own technique, but and I know if I played on console, it would really all be about landmarks for me, so that's why a lot of times, I've tried to, whoops, wrong button. I've tried to give you guys landmarks, point them out when they occur to me, but, I'm spoiled because we have these add-ons that we can use to make the game a little bit easier. So, but even still, sometimes when I'm off farming, what I will just simply go where the next node takes me. It's kind of fun. I actually find that to be the most useful way to farm in Craglorn. Craglorn, if you guys have ever done it, is absolutely just full of nodes. So literally, you can just run around, and it's so competitive there that you'll literally, oh, we just saw a node here, you'll literally be running and see 3 or 4 people farming. So I found the best method to farm Craglorn is to simply run, but while you're gathering, look around a little bit, see where the next, oh, there's a node, I'm going to go grab it, right? While you're farming, look around, you're going to find another node. I saw one over here, we're going to go grab that real quick. And it's really all about that, you just go through, and as long as you're being efficient with your farming, and you're not running into a bunch of empty nodes. I mean, obviously, if you're in a section and everything's empty, move on. That means someone's there, or a lot of times what I'll do on Batika especially since I've shared it online. There's a lot of people in there, and there always was because it's a starter zone. But what you do is, if you find yourself running in a pack with other people doing the same thing, shoot in front of them, right? Do a recall straight back to the way shrine you started at and see if everything's repopped, especially if you've been out in the race for 5 minutes. Jump out and rewind and start over, and a lot of times these things will pop pretty quick. It seems to me like the timer is kind of random on them, but so right now we'll just take a quick stop and we'll see where we're at. Okay, so we've just stayed south, right? And we've just been going back and forth, east and west, just east of this road. Okay, and this has been our focal point here. Now there's a nice little run that kind of loops around this way shrine here. Okay, and that's what we're gonna do here. So we're gonna just head off to the west, if I can find west. Yeah, alright, so we'll head up this way. And then we're gonna come back around to the east. So I had already just grabbed these. So what we're gonna do is come back around to the east. And we're just gonna see a lot of you're pretty close to the way shrine here. So, you know, a lot of times this will already be taken, but sometimes it won't. Okay. And we're getting close to the end of this run. Okay, just so you can see where we're at. Whoops. Okay, so we're going to just go a little bit more south, and then we're going to head west right back. Okay? Alright, now we'll just head back. We'll see if there's anything over there. Nothing. We'll see if we can shoot by. I don't like leaving anything. Okay. Yeah, and the way shrine's going to be right over here. Peek up there. Nothing. Alright, we'll just finish up right back at the way shrine. Okay? Now, so this is the end of this run. So what I will do at this point, and actually, since we're here, I'll just show you the run. I won't take you back to the cave because I have a separate video for that. But basically what I will do, we've made our way north to south, okay? Or south. And then we're going to jump up to here to this one. I'm going to run my little circuit here, which is in the other video. That will take me down south to here, and I'll shoot up. And I actually travel the road here because there are a few nodes in there that you can grab, and then you hit the cave, farm your motifs, and then if you want, you can run this again. Usually it'll take you about 2 runs. So north to south, do your circuit, hit the way shrine, jump back, north to south, hit the way shrine, do the circuit, check to see if they've repopped, or just check your clock, right? You got about a half hour. Then you'll be able to farm those motifs again. But that's my Morrowind run. Hope you enjoyed it. Look for more videos. Feel free to subscribe. And again, work your own variant off of these. And I hope this helps some of you. Alright, thanks for watching.